everyone, to another episode of Fish Report Live. My name is Craig Fissinger.
And I'm Ken Francis.
And we're coming to you live from the Fish Report studio here in Russia, Ohio. It is Thursday night, March 15th, 2012. And Ken, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
If you could interview one high school boys coach in the state of Ohio, what would your criteria be?
Well, number one, I guess it would be the fact that he was still in the tournament.
Okay.
Number two, probably if he was local or maybe a familiar team that most of our listeners were familiar with would be nice. Maybe number one ranked team in the state of Ohio, perhaps undefeated, and if those are the scenarios, he'd probably be our choice for the Division IV Coach of the Year.
All right. Well, you know, that's a lot of criteria you got there, but that just happens to be the resume of Jackson Center coach Scott Elchert, who is our special guest tonight, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he's going to be a busy man the next 24 hours, and we wish him the best of luck, and I can't wait to talk to him here in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk to him after the break. We're going to talk girls basketball, though, before the break, and before we get to all that, though, Ken, let's get to our weekly trivia question, and what do you got for us this week?
All right, this week's trivia question answer winner will receive a Fish Report t-shirt. Joyce Bremerton, I have to apologize to you. You were the winner last week, and I did not get you your shirt yet, so I promise you I'll get to that in the next few days. Craig, everybody knows who the last Shelby County League team was to win the girls basketball state title. Is that correct?
The Anna Rockets.
The Anna Rockets last year. Not too hard. Good luck to Coach Billing as he's actually playing right now and trying to win 2 straight. Tonight's question is, who was the last boys Shelby County League basketball team to win a state championship?
The last boys team to win a state championship.
Yes.
Okay.
That is tonight's question.
All right. Well, I think I know the answer to that. And if any viewers out there know the answer to that, you can send us a message on the social stream tab there on the right side of your screen, or you can also text us. We have the question there on the right side of the Fish Report Live page. If you didn't hear the question, you can see it there, and that will explain to you how to get us the answer. But look forward to getting the answer to that at the end of the show tonight, Ken. All right, well, let's get to some girls basketball talk. One SCL team left in it. We're going to talk about them in just a second. Before we get to that, though, there was another team that played earlier tonight in Division IV that we were interested in, the Tri-Village Patriots. How'd that game go?
Craig, Tri-Village played this afternoon, and unfortunately for the Patriots, they ended a great season today, and Kayla Linkus ended a fantastic career. They fought hard, they fought tough today against a very good Berlin Highland team. However, they came up just short, losing 53-47. So congratulations to Kayla Linkus, the Tri-Village Patriots, on just an outstanding season. That
certainly was. I listened to that game this afternoon, Ken. One of the stats that stood out, that I heard the announcer say that 9 of Tri-Village's turnovers actually turned into 18 points for Berlin Highland, and that's a pretty big stat to overcome.
Yes, it was, and they took big advantage of those turnovers, and it was the difference in the game.
Yeah. And like you said, Kayla Linkus, what a career! One of only 3 girls, I think, in the state of Ohio to ever finish with over 2,000 points and 1,000 rebounds. She actually was held scoreless the first half today. I imagine they were double, triple teaming her, but she did end up with 19 points in the second half.
Yes, a big year for her. They handled Fort Loramie last week in the regional finals fairly easily, and Fort Loramie's got a fantastic girls team. So Tri-Village had to have a nice team, and they just ran into a buzzsaw today.
Yeah, one more note on that game, too. They typically only go about 6 deep. They have a freshman that comes off the bench by the name of Echo Brown, and Echo actually played 3 minutes today in the first quarter and went down with a knee injury. I know the announcers were speculating it was something serious, like maybe an ACL. It turns out it wasn't so serious, but I don't believe she came in for the rest of the game, and I think they pretty much went with their 5 starters.
Yeah, they were very thin, and they just wore out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, congratulations to them on a good season. But let's get to the game that we're interested in. Division III tonight. The Anna Rockets were playing against Findlay Liberty Benton, and you got any kind of update on that?
Yes, we do. Anna actually led the game after 1 quarter and continued to hold that lead at halftime by a score of 32-25. Midway through the third quarter, the last report, Craig, I've seen is 34-29. Anna holding the lead. At halftime, Erica Huber was leading the Rockets with 12 points, and Ashley Froney was chipping in with 10. So the word I got was that Erica Huber was all over, playing a lot of good hard pressure defense, and was giving Liberty Benton all they could handle.
Yeah, we've seen that before.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And many of you listeners out there may not know this, but Findlay Liberty Benton's best player name happens to be Katie Kraft. Well, Katie Kraft's older brother happens to be playing basketball in the NCAA tournament tonight in about a half an hour, and he plays for Ohio State, and his name happens to be Aaron Kraft. So, good hoops team there at Liberty Benton, and Katie Kraft is actually taking her talents to Ohio State as well.
She sure is. I was listening to a little bit of the game before we came on tonight, and it sounded like she was having a pretty good game herself. And Anna's got a pretty nice player themselves, a Division III Player of the Year, Natalie Billing. I'm not sure how many points you said she had. But
I didn't have a report on her, but I'm sure she's getting it done too for them.
Okay, well, hopefully Anna can take that. I think if they win tonight, or they have a 50-game winning streak. If they win tonight, makes it 51.
Yeah.
And then they play on Saturday at 2 o'clock if they win that game against.
They play Columbus Afrocentric Early College. So I don't know. You've probably heard of Afrocentric. Well, they've expanded that name now to Columbus Afrocentric Early College. So. Don't know a whole lot about them, Craig, other than the fact that they're 22-4, and they're obviously a very good basketball team.
I also heard one more thing about them. They don't bring a whole lot of fans to the game.
I did hear that, too. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, listeners, the Nubians of Afrocentric had one fan at today's game. That's per Andy Lynch, so yeah. I assume that. And I guess Maverick Long from Anna went over and helped him cheer.
Okay, all right, good.
That's what I hear. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's going to, after this weekend, that's going to wrap it up for our girls basketball talk, Ken. So we're going to kind of close out girls basketball talk here tonight. I do want to get our SCL girls correspondent, TK, on the phone, who's talked to us all season long, maybe get his thoughts on maybe what we learned this season, maybe what we can look forward to next season with some of those SCL teams. And like I said, maybe who's going to be good, who's losing players. But let's see if we got SCL Hoops correspondent TK on the phone. TK, are you there? TK, are you? Oh, we're ringing him right now.
We're going to have him right here in a second.
TK, thanks for joining us on Fish Report Live. That's not TK.
All right.
Well, we'll try to get TK on the phone here. Like I said, I want to talk about the rest of the SCL girls teams and maybe who we can look forward to next season, and certainly the Anna Rockets are probably going to be the team, I imagine, Ken, that's going to be the team to beat again next year. That's the word I've been getting from everybody. I think we got him now. TK, are you with us?
I'm here, guys. Technical difficulties there, but I think we worked it out.
Sorry about that, TK. I think I got your voicemail again. I don't know what that was, but it would sound like a rock band.
I thought maybe he was singing.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Anyway, TK, we're talking SCL girls basketball here. We just gave everyone an update on the Anna game, and we want to ask you, we're wrapping up our talk this weekend. Tell us, what did we learn this year? What can we look forward to next season in the SCL?
Well, I think we learned that Anna's got a really strong program. Everybody was looking for them to fall off, and they're winning their game right now in the semifinals of the state championship. So obviously, they didn't fall very far. And I think we're all a little bit surprised by Loamy as well. Expected them not to come out nearly as strong, and had a couple of sophomores and freshmen step right up, and they're just about as strong as ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is the update on that Anna girls game, TK? Do you have a score on that?
I'm trying to listen to it on the other ear. The last I had was just shy of the end of the third quarter. Anna was up 39-31.
Okay.
However, Frony did pick up her third foul there in the third quarter. She had to sit down a couple minutes, but once that fourth quarter hits, I'm sure she's going to be right back in.
Right. Well, you did a great job covering hoops for us all this year. I'm sure you'll be back on it for us again next year. Just give us a real quick preview. What do you see again next year of the Shelby County League? Obviously, until somebody beats Anna, they've got to be the team to beat.
Yeah, I think we have to give them a nod even this far away from the beginning of the season. They lose a lot with Fuels Camp and Frony leaving. Not only the points, but Frony leads the team in assists, which is pretty good for one of the post players.
Yeah.
But they're strong beyond those two. some points they're going to have to make up for, but I think they can do it. They're not going to be as strong, I don't think, as this year. But again, as I just said, they're the team to beat in the Shelby County League. Talked about Lumley, they're not going to get any weaker. They're not losing much other than I think Kylie Dries is the one graduating senior. They've got plenty of people to fill in when she steps out. You look at the rest of the league, the other 5 teams, here in Rushi, we don't lose anybody. So that team looks to get stronger. Obviously, they got the defense down. They got to work on the offense. Once they pull that together, they got some more freshmen turn into sophomores. I think that's going to pick up, so they'll be strong. Botkins as well. They just lose one, and Christy Johnson bring back a couple really good players in Pitts and McCullough. They'll be equal to, or probably get a little bit better next year. I think they can fill in for the loss there. The rest of the teams, Jackson Center, Houston, and Fairlawn, kind of a toss-up. Just depends on how they come back together. I think the team that's really going to hurt the most would probably be Houston. They lose Elliott and Reister with a lot of points there, and Ruth underneath with a lot of rebounds. So they're going to have a lot of work ahead of them to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I agree with that, TK. I think your top teams are Anna, Larmy, and Rushi again. Who knows? Maybe Bakken steps up there, and you've always got sophomores that you didn't see this last season that come into play, and maybe even a couple freshmen. But I do agree with you too that Houston loses a lot. They got Phipps and Boer coming back, and Stang and Meyer and some of those girls, but those 3 guards they lose, it's going to be tough replacing them right off the bat.
Yes, it will. And keep an eye on Botkins. Don Mack was his first-year coaching this year. Thought he did a great job with them, and they got a lot coming back. And, he's also at the state tournament right now, and he's been giving us updates on that game, so I'd like to thank him for those.
Yeah, and as you mentioned with Botkins, they have a strong, a decent, and a pretty physical JV team. They'll probably get a couple of girls to step up from there, and their junior high is doing fairly well too, playing the same style of ball. So, yeah, I think Don's going to keep things going in the right direction there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
let me ask you, TK, who's that in the background? Is that your kids?
That's the watchdog. I think there's somebody trying to break in and steal some of my secrets here.
Okay.
Listen, you better take care of that noise in the background there, TK, and we thank you for your year's work with us, and we'll look forward to next year.
Guys, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to it already.
All right, thanks, TK.
All right, good night.
Good night.
All right, that was our SCL girls correspondent, TK. Big help to us this year, Ken, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I think something in the background there was getting a little frustrated. I'm not sure what that was. All right. Well, that wraps us up for girls basketball.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking a little boys basketball. Let's go to a break, Ken, and when we come back, we've got that big interview with Coach Elchert, and we'll close out the season on the SCL boys. Okay?
Good.
All right.
So American girl, restless girls is ready for the night. All the ready for the night. 17 pissed at the world, we don't know why, but it's worth that for. Tomorrow's just a lifetime away, but tonight is everything. It's another small town song about nothing ever going on a Friday night. Heading to town, score some beers,
right, welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking some girls basketball. We're going to change gears, Ken, now and talk some boys basketball. And coming up tomorrow night, we got one SCL team left in it, and we're real excited. We got the 25-0 Jackson Center Tigers going up against the 21-4 Dayton Jefferson Broncos. 7:30 tomorrow night at Kettering's Trent Arena. Looking forward to that one, aren't we?
Craig, I can't wait for that game. You know, it's going to be just a great battle between a team, Jackson Center, that's just had a great year against, you know, one of the premier teams in the Miami Valley year in and year out, the Broncos of Dayton Jefferson. Craig, it's such a big game. I think I'm even going to go myself.
All right. Well, on the phone right now, we got a very special guest. He's the leader of those Jackson Center Tigers, the number 1 team in the state of Ohio, and that's Coach Scott Elchert. Coach, thanks for joining us on Fish Report Live.
Hey, my condolence appreciation is great to you guys.
All right. Well, we enjoy doing this and covering the SCL, and Ken and I are big fans of all the SCL teams. Certainly want to tell you congratulations on the season you've had so far, and we're excited about you guys playing for a shot at the state tournament tomorrow night. But listen, we've been talking about your team all season, and one of the things we've been trying to figure out is what makes you guys so tough to beat. So I'm going to ask you, what thing does Jackson Center do, I guess, better than anyone else this season?
Well, I think that probably with our team, where you start with is our defense. We pride ourselves in being very good defensively. We're giving up just about 40.5 points per game right now. And, for high school basketball, I think that's pretty good. The other thing that I think makes our team somewhat unique is our adaptability. We can handle pressure well. We can handle if the game is slowed down. We've got a very good inside game, and we also have multiple weapons on the outside. And we typically have at least 4 guys out on the floor at any given time that are very good ball handlers. So I think that's one of the big things is just our ability to adapt to the style of any kind of game, the way it's being played.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to ask you about one of your stars, your senior, Andy Hoying. He's a 2-time SCL Player of the Year. And, when I look at the box scores, he's not always the leading scorer. What does he do for your program that we're not always seeing in the box score?
Yeah, he's a tremendous player from the standpoint, he does a little bit of everything. He actually has started every single game as a varsity player since his freshman year, and he's a career record holder at Jackson Center for games played.
Wow.
But much like our team, if you look at it from Andy's standpoint, the best part of his game is the way he defends. He's a tremendous defender, and he can guard a guy that's inside or he can guard a guy that's out on the perimeter. And if you just look at his numbers, he's averaging right around 16.5 points per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, 3.5 assists per game, and he just does a little bit of everything. 79% from the free throw line, shooting over 55% from 2-point range, so he's just very efficient at everything he does.
Good. Coach, it is so hard to simulate a Jefferson style of play in practice, especially when you only have 2 days to prepare your team. Will controlling the tempo of the game tomorrow night be your biggest challenge?
Well, I don't know if it's a tempo thing as much as a couple of things that we think that are important is that you're taking good care of the ball, and that when you're passing the ball or dribbling the ball, whatever it might be, that you're in an attacking position, that you're going towards your rim. If you get complacent and get lazy with your passes, and they're either lateral or towards the other team's bucket, I think that's when you're setting Jefferson up for some of those turnovers, and you give them easy buckets in transition. So our mindset's got to be that we're taking care of the ball, but in the same sense, we're doing it in an attacking standpoint. And then I think the other thing that's very important against a team like Jefferson is that you get a body on them, and then you go get the rebound. They're extremely, extremely effective on the offensive glass.
Mm-hmm. Coach, a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of coaching my 5th grade son and his team in a tournament held right in your gym at Jackson Center. Our team of young boys thought it was really neat and cool, is what they told me, how yourself and several of your players sat right behind our bench and watched our games. I assume just 6 short years ago, Team Elchert was in that same tournament. How did that bring back memories to you, and as you watched those young kids out there playing basketball? and how as your son and his teammates grow over the years.
Yeah, that brought back a lot of good memories because we did a lot of the same things. We of course played in that tournament, but we traveled around. So our group of juniors and seniors have played a lot of games together, starting all the way back in 4th and 5th grade. And we stuck around and watched that game because we think it's neat to see teams gel and play at that age because it's very fun at that age, and it's the developmental stage of building good teams. And so it definitely brought back a lot of good memories for this particular group of kids that I've got the privilege of coaching right now.
We're good. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to sit back here because just so you know, our kids really enjoyed it and thought that was pretty neat. So, one other thing, Coach, before I turn it back over to Craig, just so you know, last weekend there were some Russia boys made a trip up to Jackson Center and ended up at the Elchert house. I want you to know, number one, that they better have behaved there and not been bothering you, and number two, if they were causing any problems and all, you have my full permission to put on your game face, kick them out of the house, and send them back to Russia.
Yeah, they were well-mannered, and they weren't a problem at all.
Well, that's good. Well, don't be afraid to put the game face on them sometime if you have to.
Okay, we can do that. Thanks, Ken.
Coach, this is Craig again. Ken mentioned your son Trey there just a little bit ago. I know, as a head coach or any coach, you put in a lot of hours, and we talked to some other coaches this season. It's a lot of time away from the family. I want to ask you how special has it been for you to not only coach your son, but to watch him have the success that he's had?
Oh, it's a true blessing from God. There's no doubt about that, and this is something that he and I have done for a long time now. As Ken was alluding to, back when they were in 4th and 5th grade doing tournaments and things like that. The Trey's been a ball boy from me basically ever since the time that he could walk. I had him in the gym with me, so it's neat from the standpoint. This has kind of been one of the main focal points of things that we do together, and get the opportunity to experience some of the things we had this year with him is, like I said, a true blessing, and I'm enjoying every minute of it.
All right, that's pretty awesome. Hey, before we let you go, I've got one more question. Be honest with me. Are you studying Jefferson right now, or are you watching NCAA games?
Actually, we've done so much work on Jefferson. It's time to unwind just a little bit to watch some of these NCAA games, and then wake up and get ready to go compete tomorrow.
That sounds great, Coach. Well, listen, from everybody from Fish Report Live, from everybody from Russia, and everybody that I know, good luck tomorrow night, and go Tigers.
I appreciate you guys are great, and that's what makes Shelby County a special place. Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. That was the head coach of the Jackson Center Tigers, Ken Scott Elchert. Pretty good guy and pretty good basketball coach, too.
Yes, he is. Great guy. I've had a good opportunity to talk to Coach Elchert several times over the last 2 or 3 weeks, being in Jackson Center for a freshman tournament, as well as, like I said before, the 5th and 6th grade tournament. And super guy. Couldn't happen to a better guy, and best of luck tomorrow night.
One thing I noticed he said when you were asking him about Jefferson was talking about taking care of the ball. And if I think back to Jackson, some of their games this year, or all of their games, the one thing I think they do as well as anybody is they just minimize the mistakes. And when you take care of the ball and you don't make mistakes, you're always in a position to win.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for the Jackson Center Tigers. Before we close out our boys basketball talk, hopefully we're talking about them again maybe one more time next week, and talking about Jackson going to the state tournament there. But anyway, let's close out our boys basketball talk with the rest of the SEL teams. What are we looking at next year? Who do you look to be good? Who's losing some players? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, Jackson Center is really going to be good again next year. I realize they lose 2-time Shelby County League Player of the Year in Alex Hoyne, but they're still going to be very strong. Anna's going to be good. They're going to be losing Jay Meyer. Russia loses quite a bit, but they're still going to be a solid team. Fort Loramie's going to have most of their players back. Fairland's going to have all their key players back. Craig, honestly, from top to bottom, I think it's going to be an extremely balanced league next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Jackson, you about got to make them the front runner. Hoyne's going to be a big loss for them, but they got the rest of that gang that's coming back that's going to have a lot of tournament experience and scoring,
Right.
and all kinds of stuff. So, but anyway, that's going to do it for our boys basketball talk. That's going to do it for tonight's show. Before we end, though, let's see if we got. Why don't you go to the trivia question again and see if we got a winner?
Well, we do have a winner, Craig. Tonight's trivia question was, who was the last Shelby County League boys basketball team to claim the OHSAA state basketball title? Well, the winner tonight is Clay George from Russia.
All right.
Clay George, you have won a T-shirt, so congratulations. You got runner-up a whole bunch of times. Tonight you finally won it, so good job, Clay.
I'm glad to hear that.
That was in 1993 also, by the way, so that's been 19 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's it's been a while.
All right. I do have one more update. TK, our girls correspondent, just sent a text and said that Anna is up 53-39 with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left to go in the game. So it sounds like Anna's going to be heading to the state finals on Saturday at 2 o'clock against Afrocentric. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to say thanks to a few people. Thanks to our sponsors out there. Thanks to our SCL Hoops correspondent, TK. Thanks to Coach Elchert. Special thanks for him to come on the show. And thanks to you viewers out there for tuning in again this week.
Craig, I got one more guy to thank. I would like to thank this guy right here. He does so much work for us behind the scenes. This is Ross. Ross was Shelby County League Ball Boy of the Year this year.
Ball Boy of the
Ball
Year.
Boy of the Year. So, thanks to Ross. He gets us water. He's behind the scenes. He's our general manager of the show. So, Ross, give it up. Thank you very much.
All right, that guy right there, I imagine one day he'll probably be sitting in this seat right here. He's got a good buddy by the name of Carter. I imagine he'll be sitting in that seat there someday. They'll probably be running this show for all you viewers out there. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again next weekend or next week on Thursday. Have a great weekend. And for Ken Francis, I'm Craig Fissinger saying good night, everyone.